And we're back. It's your boy, Edwardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft Game, Daily Fantasy Sports, meets movies. And they're also back. They almost need no introduction. You know them, you love them, or at least you tolerate them. It's the Tripod.
Yeah. Hello.
First, we have our own superhero, the WBW, the working black writer, the chocolate cardinal. He's got so many nicknames. I can't. The former story editor, producer,
yeah.
co-producer on Dynasty, now renewed for a fourth season.
Hashtag 6 degrees.
Kevin Garnett.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Amen. And we've got the teacher extraordinaire, the administrative extraordinaire, the father of three. Oh my God. Husband to a Pulitzer Prize winning team of journalists. That's right. You're now known.
Don't put that into my title. Steve Harvey, relax, man. I don't want that in my title.
It is, of course, G Nice.
What up, good people? What up?
Coming in cold, has not read the rundown, as per usual. We love him.
On brand, always.
Our Andy Cohen-inspired Watch What Happens Live style drinking game tonight will be the word technology, because, of course, once again, I'm failing at it, as you can see my screen, instead of me. We are having all sorts of issues with Zoom. Fuck you, Zoom. All right, sorry, I said get it in there. We won't, and you know what? We'll leave it in. We're not editing that out, damn it. And also because tonight's pod will be all about some of the best futuristic films and technology that we have seen. Gentlemen, how's your quarantine going?
Go ahead, G Nice.
No, I got nothing. This is horrible. This is horrible.
What's so bad about your quarantine, G Nice?
Huh?
What's so bad about your quarantine, Greg?
Dude, are you serious? Working and homeschooling is really unfun.
I'm having a ball. I've gained 15 pounds, I'm sure. I'm watching everything I want to watch. I mean, you know, this is great. My life hasn't changed at all.
I have a coworker. I'm this person's I don't know what you call me, the coach or manager or whatever. And I talk to this person all the time. This person's single. This person has a significant other. And this person constantly tells me this is the greatest time ever. This person says they wake up in the morning, they cook breakfast, they work out every day, they do like 2 hours of effort for work, and then they watch a shit ton of Netflix. And they're like, go to sleep on time, drink when they want. One of the times I had this meeting with this person said to their significant other, whispered and overheard, this person said, "What kind of wine do you want?" It was like 11:30.
Wow.
Hey,
that's that single self-isolation life, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, listen,
having kids is difficult.
This moment is so different for so many different people, right? Because there's people who are just loving it, right? There's people who are bored out of their minds. There's people who are struggling. There's people who are dying, right? This is like everyone. I can't think of anything else where everyone's experience is so different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mine is similar to yours in that trying to get work done, but then having a 4-year-old and wife working and having to like answer calls and do customer service to a certain extent. So I'm primary with him during the day, and it's just like it's a
super successful.
Yeah,
let me ask this.
It's all failing.
What about, are there any like Hollywood tales, anything from the industry that you've got, you know, any inside dope you can share with us? I mean, writer negotiations or any new deals that you've got going, or any work you want to share?
Nothing to share per se. A few things, something that I've been working on for a long time that is nearing the finish line, but of course the COVID is sort of pushing production on that, and then, you know, just doing some development stuff, which I'm excited about, and you know, hopefully we'll have some announcements this year. You know,
I mean, I still keep seeing deals being done. So I mean, people are still working, right? Like, what's that like?
People are still working. They're doing Zoom rooms all over the place, from old shows coming back to new shows. And the people that I've talked to who are in them seem to feel like you don't miss much. But instead of going, say, 10 until 6, people will go 10 to like noon, obviously take a lunch break, which could be a little extended, and then they'll just do a few hours in the afternoon. So you're really, because they're saying the Zoom experience is a little bit more intense because you're all just like staring at each other all day, and there's there's a lot less sort of the sort of host chat and BS talk that you usually have, because you're there, let's get it in. And people, they're saying after 4 hours in a Zoom over the course of a day, even with like a break in the middle for lunch, like you're pretty spent.
Yeah, something about Zoom fatigue is real. And actually, I'm trying to find the article there, but there's someone. Yeah, and this, we're already off in our first cultural cul-de-sac. Some companies.
You started this. You started. Just for the record, it wasn't me. Was not me.
I did. I'm actually looking into possibly getting T-shirts made. I mean, I love a good cultural cul-de-sac. But no, there's some company, some tech company that came out with like, not just like a counter to Zoom, but it's like it's like here we go. It's a big panel. There we go. Let me just drag this over onto my screen. It's basically, they call it what is it? Not Zoom, Argo Design Square. That's what they call it. So basically, it's like a giant Zoom. It's like basically like a giant LED TV screen or whatever. No, I don't want daily code updates. And basically, it's just like keeping a desk experience on through your camera. So it's like you're at work. You have like a big, full, wide angle thing. It's like you're at your desk and they're at their desk, and it's like cameras on the entire time. So it's like you're being in the room with your coworkers, which I don't know if that's better, but it's definitely interesting. Can y'all can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Now that sounds intense. I mean,
makes no yeah, that's like having a cubicle right next to someone with no partition. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this might work for the tech heads. Like when I worked for a small tech startup in downtown Vegas, like they were really big on having us all in the room. We're all in like this bullpen area. Like marketing and content was at one end, and the other end were all the developers and stuff, and they like really want us like in the same area. I could see this as a good idea for them, or at least that's where the idea came up
for certain businesses. Luther is joining your pod. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, you can add like a third or four. It's weird. I'm not sure I'm down with that, but you never know. Yeah, that's Square. So so anyways, that's one way to deal with work. But I'm glad to hear you guys are out there still getting checks.
Out there in here.
Yeah, out there, yes, we in there. I mean, well, out, doing your socially distanced walk or exercise, whatever it is you do every day. But yeah, in there, working, getting them checks, trying not to kill your spouse or your significant others or going stir crazy. Wouldn't want that. But let's move on to what we're watching. That's right. All right, and I'll start. First thing I'm watching, and this actually wasn't covered in our DraftStream game, and we'll go into the DraftStream game later. Very exciting, fun game. Space Force. This is actually a great teaser. I just watched the trailer this afternoon. I'm actually watching, or I watched Normal People. Are you two familiar with the show Normal People?
I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's good. It's 12 hour-and-a-half episodes, BBC style. The lives and loves of two teenagers from Sligo, Ireland, as they're maturing.
Wait, they have accents?
Oh, yeah. I was going to try to break out an accent. I'm not going to embarrass myself. Yeah.
No, please. You totally want to do it.
I really do.
Say I'm going to drink. Say I would like some coffee, please.
If you caught me like maybe Sunday after I finished the show, I would have one ready for you. Boo. But I don't really have an action for you. There you go. No, that was the attempt. Yeah. And so it stars Daisy Edgar-Jones and Paul Mescal. I can't do it. I lost it. Anyways, Daisy Edgar-Jones, a.k.a. Young Hathaway, because she's a dead ringer for a young Anne Hathaway. I mean, look at that face. First, they're like, look at that. That's Anne Hathaway. You can't tell me no different. Anyways, they basically are teenagers in high school.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
You don't see it?
Blow by that.
Hold up. Look at that. Look at that. Young Hathaway. Stop it.
They are both white. It's true.
Wow. Wow.
They look
I
different.
got race shamed on my own show.
That lady does not look like Anne
She
Hathaway.
really doesn't. I hate to agree with
You
Gina,
see,
but
like, I mean,
they look nothing alike.
where's the side by side? How's this not young Hathaway?
Now I am going to find 5 other white women that look more like her.
Different lips, different nose.
Yes, please do. Then share your screen. How's it not young Okay, you know what? All right, I'm already sidetracked. Anyways,
No.
young Hathaway, aka Daisy Edgar Jones, she's great in this. And honestly, that's the entire show. It's just like these two. They start off as teenagers in high school. You know, she's an outcast. He's kind of the popular guy. And they go to college, and then the roles are kind of flipped. And honestly, it's just about their relationship. You almost never see a show that's just so like in the interior life and loves of like just of like a romantic pair. Like, I'd argue that maybe it could have been a couple episodes shorter, but I enjoyed it the entire way. It's very intense, very raw, and very horny. It's a lot of sex, a lot of graphic sex, and I enjoyed it because it felt real. It felt real. So yeah,
Hour and a half episode. That better be fucking good.
No, half hour.
Half hour. Oh, I thought you said hour and a half
No,
as
You did
well.
say hour and a half.
half
Okay,
hour.
that makes it better.
Yeah,
Makes it much more tolerable, I would say.
No, and it does go by pretty quickly, and a lot of this stuff is like you just kind of scream at them like to do the right thing, whatever, and you're like, why would this work? Why don't you just talk to each other? But that's how. I mean, if
They're in college?
Yeah, they start off in high school, and then they go to college, and it's kind of through, I guess, that 5 or 6 year period from end of high school through graduation. But it's really good.
Okay.
I recommend it. A lot of sex. young. How do you guys not see this? That is young Hathaway.
She just has dark hair and she's white. It's not the same.
Now you're piling on, Cage.
No, she doesn't look anything like her. That shot there, that last shot with the red, looked like a little bit like her.
That looks like the new girl.
Zoe Deschanel?
No, Greg, let's not do this.
All right, anyways, from our DraftStream game that we've been alpha testing, which is going fantastic. The competition has been fantastic these first few weeks. As a game maker, you don't understand how extremely pleased I am to see the competition so far. I was tempted to check out Upload, and that is an incredible show. Have you guys heard about Upload?
Wait a minute.
Heard about it again.
Wait a minute. The Amazon thing?
Yes, Amazon
I
Prime.
watched the first 10 minutes of it last night.
And
when I stopped.
Because you got tired. That's all it was.
No, it was weird. And the dude annoyed me, and the lady annoyed me.
No, it's all right. Yeah. First of all, the first episode is like 45 minutes, and you need to see the first 2. The first episode really is almost entirely set up. I mean, watching his whole thing and him dying and stuff, getting uploaded and the whole procedure.
Spoiler alert.
No, it's not a spoiler. He's dead. The whole show.
Dead, right in the first 10 minutes.
Well, no,
Here's
the log line. Yeah, a young, superficial, pretty boy coder in the year 2033 gets his consciousness uploaded to a digital version of heaven right before he dies. That's how it works. Like before you die, you have the option of either just flat out dying and go to make-believe heaven, religious heaven, or you can upload yourself.
Shots fired.
Shots fired, exactly. Sorry, Mom. Or you can upload yourself into like, what's the best way to describe this? They call themselves Horizon with an E at the end, so it's kind of like it's like Verizon met like Dropbox, and I guess kind of did like a Second Life version of heaven, and you can upload like your whole consciousness and personality into this kind of fake heaven, and while you're there, you get like an angel. He starts falling in love with this angel, a customer service rep named Nora, and basically trying to figure out the reason why he was killed, because in the year 2033 everyone are in these automated self-driving cars, and there's like never a self-driving car crash, but he was killed in one. So there's a bit of a mystery element to it, which is pretty cool. But it's really, I love futurist stuff, and that's why we're doing this episode on the top 3 futuristic movies, because their version of the future is funny.
Your description
now
is better than the
customer service rep, is she alive, or is she also uploaded in this?
No, she's alive. And another backstory is that her father is slowly dying, and she's trying to convince him to upload his consciousness to Lakeview. That's where he's uploaded. So I guess you've got your choice of different heavens, right? And so the Lakeview is like the toniest one, most expensive one, and he's only uploaded there because his girlfriend, let me see if I can find a picture of the blazing hot Allegra Edwards. She was great. Not so hot in this picture. She's actually having a sleepover with his niece, and which they so cleverly named Nevaeh, which of course in heaven backwards. And there she is, Allegra Edwards. She's also in Briar Patch. She's starting to have a bit of a moment, but she's like a rich, like the daughter of a rich guy who owns part of the company that runs Lakeview, and so she has him uploaded on her plan so that he can have like the best everything. But it's on her plan, so he can't break up with her. Anytime he gets in a fight, she's like controlling his shit. It's pretty wild. I really enjoyed it.
Interesting.
Yeah, check it out. And that's what I'm watching. Damn it. What are y'all watching? KG first, because he was on time.
Anne Hathaway.
That's not the same one.
I know.
You know what? Shut up, Sheena. Kevin, watching.
First thing I'm watching is the thing that you two are both also watching.
Fuck yeah, that should have been the first thing everybody said. I mean,
the Last Dance.
There we go.
Yeah, hell yeah. What time is it? Game time.
Obviously, growing up in the Chicago suburbs, we moved to Naperville, Illinois in 1981.
Sell out.
And Jordan came in 84. And, it's great just reliving the whole ride and remembering all these things. Most of the stuff you obviously know the gist of it, but there's all sorts of little gritty details that you forgot or never knew about.
That last episode, I swear I nearly got secondhand smoke from all the cigar smoking in that episode. There's so much cigar smoking. It's nuts. Yeah. Oh, look at this boy. This is my MVP right here. This dude with a white perm beat him at quarters.
That
dude looks like a hobbit. That's Samwise Gamgee's cousin.
You can tell Mike was so tight after that, because that's when the dude did the whole little shrug on him too.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Miller Lite being consumed.
Well. Yes, there is. Yes,
Rodman and just jumps on the motorcycle with the escort, no helmet, just down to Miller Lite. Like, what's going on here? It's not that long ago. People knew that you're not supposed to do that.
It's not that long ago. Not that long ago.
Yeah, well, I know you're dying to, so chime in on The Last Dance, G Nice, as our resident, born and raised Chicagoan, Evanstonian.
This is great. I mean, it's so good. Like they, a buddy of mine has been saying that they should have done like 20 episodes. They clearly have so much more footage they didn't use. Mm-hmm. They should have just done more and more. The only thing I don't like, this is not a like, but the only thing I don't like, I wish there was more of the rest of them. Like, I love hearing about Jordan, but I also feel like there's a ton more Scotty shit we can do. There's tons more like horror stuff they can do. Like Craig Hodges, that fool. Have you been reading this? Craig Hodges is in the fucking paper every day now. He's kind of.
What is he hating?
Doing what?
He's supposed to be hating.
He's like, not hating. I mean, yes, but he's not really hating. He's a super bright guy, and he's like.
He dyes his hair. Sorry. Scotty's dyeing his hair. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, he did that. Don't be hating on Scotty. Scotty's
He's got a very young wife, right? Doesn't he?
As the Jordan. As the Jordan. All right, so you're saying anyway. So Hodges is in the paper, truth telling, I guess.
A little bit, yeah, and he's a little bitter, but he's like a really bright guy, and he's just like. Yeah, it would have been cool to see some. I haven't seen any footage of him. BJ's a little bit in it. Mm-hmm. You just want it'd be fun to hear like some of the other guys, Lou Longley say some shit or something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like this is Jordan, and that's how they're selling it. And he's fucking awesome. But it'd be cool if there was a little bit more of the others.
Look, if we don't get,
I also don't totally.
If we don't get baseball or basketball back or something by like mid or end summer, they might just throw together like 10 more episodes. I mean,
do a second season. Fuck yeah! And I love watching Sam Smith on there. I love Sam Smith.
There's also, what you say, Kevin?
The director of the thing has some interviews with Jalen and Jacoby. He has other interviews around too, but like there's some extra cool little tidbits if anybody wants to deep dive into like.
Yeah, I listened to the first 3 episodes of those, but honestly, because between that and the Simmons content the Bill Simmons content I already consumed, like I feel like when he comes on for the after show, like I feel like I've heard these stories before. So that's why I actually didn't listen to the last 3 because I'm like, probably just get more of this.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the after show. I just found some stuff on YouTube, but because usually I do, as we get into something else I'm watching just for a touch, we do Last Dance Insecure, and then the second episode of The Last Dance. So that's usually
Oh, that's what
you like change the palette a little bit, just a little.
Yeah, just like a little step back, let that sort of simmer, and then come back into it.
You say we.
Speaking. Oh yeah, he's married, or you're.
Yeah. My wife and I watched.
She's watching it with you.
Yeah. Plus, because she being from South Africa and only coming over here, I think in 2005 or whatever, she came over. Like, she knew Jordan was like this icon, but she wasn't into the nitty gritty of it. So it's like basically all new to her as far as the chronology of it and all the little details. So.
Oh, that must be fun. Yeah. So speaking of Insecure, what do you think of the season so far?
I'm riding with it. I think I've heard a lot of criticism of the season so far, but like
seriously, like what? It's like curiosity.
Just like that it's not as good or not as funny or as focused. But I think they've sort of set out very, very explicitly with the sort of flash forward as the first scene of the season that this is about Molly and Issa's the dissolving of their relationship is what it seems like they're trying to tell. And all those sort of breadcrumbs are being left along the way. So, I still enjoy it. I've grown to love these characters.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I think it's because probably I've been so thirsty for Insecure. It's been so long that I'm enjoying it fine. And actually, I kind of like the focus. It feels like this season has, like you said, with the flash forward, it has a theme. Like not only do we know where we're going, but almost every other scene is like informed by the potential crumbling of their relationship. And I find it, interesting, mostly because everyone kind of uses the show as like an avatar for their own lives, especially in the Black community, as Bomani Jones called the Black Civil War, because the men see it this way, women see it the other way, or whatever. But you see a lot of stuff, like a lot of ways that either you used to act or still maybe do act or parallels to your own relationships that I think are just fascinating. And then you go on Twitter where the real conversation happens and you see people like, fuck this dude, or oh yeah, she built that man. Don't you just love when you build up a man and then let's go, you see everyone else relating to your similar reception of the show. So that's what I really enjoy about Insecure. It definitely feels like a community event. Yeah. All right. So Insecure.
And by the way, people love Asian Bae.
Asian Bae, Alexander Hodge, who's like Australian or something.
I didn't realize he was Australian. I saw him speaking somewhere, and I'm like, oh snap, he's an Aussie. Interesting. Yeah. I thought.
All right, G-Nice, what are you watching?
Well,
besides 5 Zoom meetings a day. I
mean, can you guys hear that? Is it going in and out of your end, or is that just me?
I think you're okay. No?
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say that when I asked my wife if she wants to watch The Last Dance with me, quote unquote, she said, I won't watch that shit. So when you said we, I was like, oh, lucky.
But are you indoctrinating your children with the Jordan lore?
Well, I was gonna, but
how old are your kids now again?
8, 6, and 5.
Whoa, hold up. 8?
Yeah, he's 8.
He's 8?
Yeah, he talks a lot of shit too.
Yeah, look who he came from. Wow. Wow.
So the thing is, it comes on at 9 o'clock, and I desperately need to get those motherfuckers to bed.
Right.
No, they don't watch with me.
Ah, right. It comes on 6 out here, so
I have been watching every day. For the first week, we would watch one performer on the Prince tribute together, and they really like that. They really like the McGow cover. Okay, what am I watching? I've actually watched a lot. The sad part about this world in which we live is you're so desperate to be left alone that at night, when you have 2 ounces of energy, you can either try to do something productive and totally fail because you have or you can put your ass on a couch and stare at screen. Honest to God, it doesn't really matter what I'm watching right now. But I binged the shit out of Ozark.
Yes. Are you caught up?
I'm caught up. I know that.
Hold on a second. How are you behind, Kevin?
I'm on episode 5 of season 1. I was going to say I just started on Saturday.
But I'm very proud of it. Because it's worth your time. So we won't talk about it except to say
I can take out the earphones if you want to talk and then.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. I would just say it's consistently good.
Mhm.
and like it's consistently good. So I thought this was a very strong episode. I mean, strong season. I feel like they kind of some of the stuff got lost. Like
He's ready to bail.
Go
He's
ahead.
bailing. He's like,
Just change to a different picture and I'll come back.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
okay.
I think it's good. So
right.
I've also binged. I also just binged this past weekend. And here's the problem with binging is that it destroys you for the next day. And unfortunately, I don't get to sleep in.
Kevin.
So they just come to me in the morning. Come back, Kevin.
Come back. It's safe.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm waving my hands to come back, but you can't see me.
Right, exactly.
Same thing too.
I've also been watching. I just watched the last season of Homeland.
You stuck with it, huh?
I did.
You watch Homeland, KG?
I watched the first, handful of seasons and liked it all the way along, and then I think I forget what exactly happened, but at some point I just fell off.
Look, I was ready to bail after season 4. I think like I was done, and then my friend Lolita, I think you might know Lolita Files. She was like, "No, season 5 is great. Come back." And I'm like, "Ugh. All right, I trust your judgment." I came back and it was great. And then they had like kind of weird season 6, 7, 6 and 7 were kind of okay, but 8 was great consistently. I thought 8 was awesome. What do you think, G Nice?
I think like people say, like I think that I can't remember what season it was. I was actually when I looked it up, I was surprised. I could not remember there were 8 seasons of the show.
Yeah, buddy. It's very, very on brand for Showtime.
What's up, man?
What's up? We got a visitor.
What's up, Biggie?
He can't hear you.
We also can't see me.
Yeah.
And we can't hear him either, so I guess we're all good here. Yeah, what were you saying about?
I thought that it was
let me hear him.
Somewhere along the way it got.
We got Zoom bombed by the kid.
Hello.
Hello.
No, we're not doing that, Braylon.
You're live on a podcast, Braylon.
We're doing something else.
Okay.
Go ahead. Continue.
Whatever. There was some season that was whack, and then it kind of got back on. I think she's very, very good. She's very, very good at losing her shit. She's very good at like tearing up and quivering her bottom lip. And
that chin quiver is Hall of Fame worthy.
She's really good at sort of like it was kind of interesting. Like I just feel like this whole show is, heavily propaganda, but it's entertaining, and it's entertaining, and I think it's thoughtful, and I think at the end, I don't know, like, I guess I like the ending. I mean, it was clever. It's for sure clever. You know what I mean? But it wasn't satisfying, and it happened really, really fast.
Oh, well, the ending, I think I know which part you're talking about, like the coda to the ending or whatever, like the 2 years later thing or whatever. I mean, maybe feels a little rushed, but I thought the ending was extremely satisfying. I think I was talking about this either last episode or the episode before about how I was watching Homeland, how I enjoyed it, because the thing about Homeland is that it's always been eerily prescient and if not prescient, it was very of the moment. Like the whole thing with like bot farms and trolling, they were like a year ahead of that. Like they were talking about that I think in 2015, and then in 2016, like when it actually helped possibly steer an election, like I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that from Homeland. Like they're always on top of that shit. Like they were. I mean, not so much on like say Bitcoin stuff like that, but with like this last season when they talked about the Afghanistan the treaty or whatever, like and troops leaving Afghanistan, I'm like, shit, they called that. Because that's like happening right now. They've always been really good at that type of geopolitical stuff. I always thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know. It's clever. I can tell you that it's super clever. It was super clever. I'm not sure why it didn't sit well.
All right, fair enough. And
the last thing.
Go ahead.
The last thing I'm watching is we just started season 2 of the Voltron series. And it's awesome.
Really?
It's awesome, and my kids love it. We like talk about Voltron and we play with the Voltron toys. It's pretty spectacular.
Which one is it?
The new one, the DreamWorks one.
Voltron,
I showed him the old
Legendary Defender, or there's a lot of Voltron out there.
It's the one right there. Yeah, Legendary Defender.
All right.
Yeah. I showed them the old school ones just to show them. They're like, "What is this?" But it's really, really fun. It's really fucking fun. It's a little cheeseball and it's kind of over the top, but it's clever and it's funny and it's, good versus evil. A bunch of random. Uh, it's clever. They also try to get like some social commentary in there, which is kind of awkward, but it's fun.
Mhm. The other
So
thing
now my son wants a full Voltron.
that was a
Feel
great show.
free to mute yourself if you need to, G Nice. All right, go ahead, Kevin. What were you gonna say?
Just one other thing that I'm watching, which when you brought up the lip quiver, we binged Little Fires Everywhere.
Yes, I've been waiting to talk about this with someone. Expound.
Loved it.
I love
just the way they were sort of able to dive into motherhood and race specifically, and sort of the way that Kerry Washington just like never let anyone off the hook, the way Reese Witherspoon was essentially the villain of this thing. The characters were complex and had layers to them. They were like sort of little believable twists and turns, for the most part believable. That little girl, that young woman, whatever you want to,
Lexi Underwood. Yeah,
It was good.
she's extremely good. They were able to sort of give each character, for the most part, like a big juicy moment or a big sort of juicy speech. Great show. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, I loved the show partially because it was triggering. It was triggering as far as because so they set it back in the 90s, so I think 1997 was its year, and I mean, so that's 4 years after I graduated high school, but I'm very familiar with being the black dot on a whiteboard. Went to a one of the most expensive, best private schools in the West Coast, and so the experience of Pearl and Mia, Lexi and Kerry Washington's characters respectively, moving to Shaker Heights with the little, the tree-lined streets and the measuring how high your grass is, and going to like a public school, but it was like it might as well have been a private school because they had all that great tax money. I've definitely related to that, and all the ways that the microaggressions of the dominant culture and stuff, and kind of reacting to that, or being kind of confused by it, or wishing you had a little more money than you did, even though you didn't, all that stuff really played into a bit of my life experience. So I probably overstood this whole series, loved it. It was great. Oh, and this episode, there's an episode, a flashback episode, where Tiffany. Oh, I want to get her name right because she's so good. Basically, They did a young Kerry Washington, and she
killed it.
I was shook. Like I almost thought, like, did they do some sort of like it was so real. I almost thought that is Carrie actually doing, and she even got her voice to sound similar.
Yeah, she had a couple of those lip quivers. I was telling my wife, I was like, she's doing Kerry Washington. Like she's got her down.
Yeah, and I saw her on Twitter talking about like how like she studied her for like I think a few months or whatever to just nail this episode, and she nailed it. Totally nailed it. Oh, yeah, so good. Little Fires Everywhere.
I would say I thought it got good. I did not like the beginning. I thought there were so many lines in the first like 2 episodes which were so on the nose, that were like cringeworthy on the nose. I mean, it got the point. Like it was. But it got really good. It got super. Like I remember thinking like this is really good. And I thought, look, sometimes kid acting is really hard.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's hard to watch. I thought they did a really nice job with this casting. I thought she was excellent. I did think not Kerry Washington, Reese Witherspoon's character was she was a little bit of a caricature, but it was really good. It was certainly entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. All right. Well, we could go on this forever, so we will stop now with a good air horn. And we'll move on to our topic of the episode this week, which is our top 3 futurist movies. And the rules for those of you who are new to the podcast or just joining, you name a movie dealing with or set in a vision of the future. We alternate picks. Once someone picks a movie, that movie is out of play. And since you are perpetually last, G-Nice, you shall wait your turn. All right, Kevin, you're first.
So many great movies out there that sort of fit this description, or what my perception of this situation that you put forth. I'm going to go with District 9 as my first pick.
Okay.
Movie that had a lot of sort of political undertones, made by a South African filmmaker, and how they used to sort of obviously segregate people racially into these different districts. Here they do it with these aliens, and movie just had a big impact on me. Super entertaining, kind of different. I like sort of the quote unquote futuristic worlds that seem more sort of believable at times, that have like a little bit of grit to them, that feel like it could be an extension of where we are now, as opposed to something that's like so clean and so distant that it doesn't feel connected to our present day realities. But if you haven't seen District 9, great movie. I forget the movie that this guy, the writer director of this, went on to do, but it's some other big huge blockbuster.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think the movie he did after this was one with Matt Damon. I remember that one. I can't remember the name. There's one where he's in like a space colony or something, and they had to Neil Blomkamp, I think. Yeah, it was called what was it called? Yeah, they're Elysium. That's what that was kind of like the one he did after that. And so if you like realistic visions of the future, then once again, the highest it recommends for upload. I mean, don't forget, Greg Daniels creates hits. All right, works on hits. The Office, King of the Hill, Parks and Rec. I mean, and you get that, but now with like swearing, the occasional boob, and it's just and the vision of the future feels eerily like this thing could happen like within 5 years. It's set in 2033, but it's like drones are doing everything. The self-driving cars, we're almost there. It's a realistic vision of the future. So, not to hijack District 9 for an upload ad, but I just finished watching it. I really enjoyed it. You'd enjoy it. Have you seen District 9, G Nice?
I did. I was not. I was not as excited about it.
Cultural misanthrope is back.
I thought it was fine. I
remember really liking it too. So that's a good one to start off. I am going to play the game though, and really play the game, and I'm going to take this one off.
Can I guess? I know what you're going to say. Can I guess?
No. Well,
no.
Let me say what I came to say. And now you made me forget what I was going to say. Damn. Okay. All right. Actually, no. I'm going to do Minority Report. I'm sure someone's going to get around to it.
Ooh, that's not what I thought you were going to say. There you go.
What? That's the Matrix? Good... No, thank you. I don't need the Matrix.
Okay.
Speaking of a realistic vision of the future,
pre-crime, I don't know. I mean, some people are.
Aside from the pre-crime part of it, just like the world, the ads popping up in front of you, all that stuff. But go ahead.
That's a great point. Yeah, walking through a mall and ads, popping up to reflect. Basically, you're your own online cookie or something. Yeah, that totally seems realistic. I definitely like visions of the future. The technology, the look of it. Kind of like Westworld. This season's Westworld. It's a bit of a shit show, but I love the look. The look was incredible. Like, we're outside the park. We're in like the world of 2050 or whatever. Like, I like that stuff. This definitely had like the set design and production design is stellar. I mean, it's a little bleak. I mean, no one wants to be prejudged for a crime they have not committed yet. We all think crazy shit and decide not to do it. But I do like the central conceit of the show. Well cast, Colin Farrell here. Colin Farrell. Oh, there's an accent. There you go. Colin Farrell for you. Colin Farrell's in this. Tom Cruise.
How insulting is that, being of some Irish descent?
Here we try to accent. We're all friends here. I've got a drama degree. I'm allowed to try on some accents.
I'm just messing with you.
Please do this entire segment with that accent.
I don't think I can keep it up for the entire episode. But
there you go. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that was my anyways, Tom Cruise, I think it was my first real noticing. She'd been doing it for a while, but my first real noticing Samantha Morton. She was one of the precogs in the bath, in the memory bath and whatever. So kind of spooky, kind of creepy. Steven Spielberg, so the music and the cinematography was tight. I think Janusz did this one as well. So Minority Report.
That's arguably my favorite Spielberg movie.
Really?
Yeah, I mess with this movie a lot because it was it's a little bit darker than what he usually does.
That's what I was gonna say.
A bit of a hard edge, more of a character thing, because there was definitely layers to Cruise's character in this as the mystery unravels. I was actually working for the guy who played the quote unquote killer of his son or whatever, Mike Binder. I was working on a show with Mike when
That's right.
Mike had a moment in the late 90s. That's right.
Yeah. So he, like, we sort of were aware that he was prepping for this and all this stuff, and then saw the thing later, and it was just like so different than who he is and what he normally plays. But he crushed it as the guy, and that was like a cool little twist to the movie. But yeah, one of my favorite. The only like sort of whimsical Spielberg moment in there was that felt a little bit tonally off to me was when he was getting chased. Cruise was getting chased by Colin Farrell and those guys, and they go into that car making factory.
Oh yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah.
And it was like it was very much like a Goonies kind of a moment. Like it was like super fun and like light, and it was like, wait a minute, what movie am I in? But loved Minority Report.
I was gonna say this that like Spielberg to me is like one of the best in terms of like just being so clean. Like everything he does is like perfectly timed, perfectly shot. The dialogue is like exactly what it should be. There's never like grit to it. And this to me was like the one where it's like, oh shit, there's like some grime. There's like some, like, it just looked different. It felt different. Even like the color palette looked different.
Yeah, you can even see through all these stills. I mean, the thing is like heavily kind of gray. I mean, it's like
I remember like that scene where he's like digging in the fucking, after he eats the dirty sandwich and he's like digging after his eyes. Like that's a fucked up scene. It's still so like, it's still so technically sound. It's still really, really good. But there's just like enough, like it's a good movie. Like it's not my favorite, but like it's a really good movie. It's the kind of movie you'd watch more than once. You know what I mean?
Well, show us a good movie. Way to segue yourself. What's your movie? What you got?
Well, this is the obvious. This is what I thought you were gonna say. So I'll do it now. So I think you're calling it the futuristic movies, but like, are we saying sci-fi?
I mean, sure. As long as it takes place in the future, it's fine.
So this is the obvious one. I'm gonna steal it, but like Star Wars is still a classic to me.
No, that's a long time ago in the galaxy.
That's what I was going to say, because that was the top of my list. I said technically.
Wait, how is that not the future?
No. All right, G-Nice, you misunderstand terms of this. We need a futuristic vision of the world of society. So you know what? Sci-fi is off the table unless it deals with a future vision.
It is sci-fi. That's sci-fi.
No, but unless it deals with the futuristic vision of the world as we know it, no, just no.
This rule, you cannot confine my brain. Okay, all right. So I will go down my second one. We're gonna have the same problem.
But it was technically a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But it felt like the future.
It is the future.
Certainly.
This fucking robot.
A long time ago is not the future, G-Nice.
It's the future. They're flying ships. What are we talking about? It's the future.
It's a long time. You know what?
It felt like the
next. This is already gonna be a 2-hour podcast. Damn it! Get to your next.
They live in space. That's the future.
Get to your next film.
Darth Vader flies around in space. That's the definition of.
I would agree with G-Nice.
Do we need to come back to you, Greg?
No, I will do another one. It's going to be the same argument. Okay, so my other one, again, this is the future because it's in space. I'm going to say that one of my I will watch this every single day, is Aliens.
Alien. Now that counts because it's still the human race. The world as we know it, it's just the future. That's fine. Alien.
There's no distinction between Star Wars and Aliens, but that's okay. So Aliens to me is that whole franchise. I love.
Yes.
This one's my favorite. It's just great. She's so fucking badass in this movie.
Yeah, she is.
And she like, get away from her, you bitch. Like she's just even like the cheesy, like it's not great dialogue. There are moments.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, but no, Paxton's fucking as good as it gets. You want some of this too, man? It's just great. It's great. Michael Biehn is cool. Newt doesn't really make sense, but it's super fun. The aliens, like the whole thing. Vasquez, like it's just fun.
Vasquez.
The white blood, the alien with the alien blood. What's like Bishop's blood. It's still, when I was a kid, I saw it. It freaked me out, and now it still freaks me out. And that shot where he's going through the he's going through the sewers, and you see that close up on his face. Do you guys remember this? Where he's like scooting through it? It's just like
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I like all of them. Well, they get a little silly, but like I like 1, 2, and 3 a lot. But this one to me is still I'll watch all of them, but this one to me is still the best one.
Oh.
3 is underrated. This movie I just watched. It came on HBO or was one of the channels like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I watched it from the beginning till maybe like an hour in, just to sort of check for pacing on a certain.
He's so good. He's such a snot, but he's so good.
Such a slime ball, so
Yeah.
good. Like it like they don't even see an alien. There's a lot of sort of stuff that you forget about that happened in the beginning, as far as like her going before this board and explaining what happened in the first movie, and then it's paced out really slow. But once they finally get to that planet,
Once it's all they're popping, it's on.
they don't. A lot of those motherfuckers don't last long.
No, they don't. But it's still so good. It's like super. Like it's just like perfectly timed and packaged, and even like the extra fight at the end is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, good pick, G Nice. What's your second pick, Kevin?
My second pick is one that I thought would be an obvious one, which is Blade Runner.
Oh,
Blade Runner counts. How does Star Wars not count?
because Star Wars does not involve humanity, Earth as we know it. It's in a galaxy far, far away. This galaxy, we're dealing with Earth.
Okay.
Earth.
All right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean it's
not 2049,
like I said,
the original one, right?
No, the original one. It's just great. Peak Harrison Ford
Have
deals with
you
a lot
watched it recently though?
I have not watched it recently.
I have watched it recently. It's really dark.
Yeah, there's a couple parts that just get kind of crazy where you're like, huh?
Yeah, I mean, but just the whole idea of like more human than human and all that sort of stuff, and his character again. I love these sort of dark, twisted, kind of screwed up characters, and the world that they created was what's her face, Sean Young, is it?
Sean Young, yeah.
Sean Young,
you know,
funky haircut.
Obviously, we've all seen it here. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. If you're into any sort of sci-fi or futuristic kind of films, this is one of the perfect ones.
Yeah, and
maybe it doesn't hold up, but
no, it kind of holds up. I mean, very, very detailed, but like I said, it's a very dark film. Very, they definitely do tap into like a future of consumerism and commercialism and stuff like that. That definitely feels kind of real. But it's just, yeah, like the palette for the film is just so dark. I mean, I remember watching it the first time, and I mean, it's not a feel good movie. Let's put it that way.
Not at all.
And yeah, and all right, so that's a good. Do you have anything to add, G Nice?
No, I don't.
What'd you guys think of 2049?
I don't know how that's different, but okay.
2049. 2049. I almost feel like it's like Belly, like a movie.
Oh no!
I mean, as far as like,
ouch.
As far as like a movie that would be best enjoyed with like just a sweeping soundtrack, because the visuals are everything. The story almost is inconsequential, but the visuals are so dope. You wish there was like a Dark Side of the Moon to pair to it, like you might to a Wizard of Oz, so you could just listen to music and watch that visual ride by. Someone needs to figure out what the soundtrack to Belly should be, because you don't need to listen to any of that except for the opening.
Well, the wild thing is the soundtrack. I mean, I don't know about the score, but the soundtrack for Belly was hot. Like the soundtrack rocked.
Soundtrack was great. The dialogue,
the visuals were incredible, but that movie's hot garbage though. That movie's
right. That's why you need like a Dark Side of the Moon to play underneath it,
right.
Which I would also suggest for this movie.
All right. No, you're right. The visuals I thought were, whoa, that's Ana de Armas. Hello.
I thought it was fine. I mean, it was like that's a really heavy. I was very sad when Harrison Ford died. You know what I mean?
Alert.
Spoiler.
Wait, we've all seen it, right?
No, yeah, but we need to do this for people who'll be listening. We actually get a couple dozen people actually listen to these things, so
Just kidding. He does not die. I'm sorry. I'm mixed that up with Star Wars.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. I agree with you, Kevin, that this thing looks incredible. I mean, I was happy to see it in theaters. It was fine. I generally love Denis Villeneuve's work. I remember I actually saw some movie he did called Enemy. It's a smaller film he did with Jake Gyllenhaal, which is kind of weird, but I like his visual visual stylings, I guess, for lack of a better word. And this film, it's fine, but I don't necessarily know if it really advances the canon that much or anything.
No, I mean it's like I said, you don't need to.
Yeah, it's like a music. It's like like in that case, I do agree. It's like Belly as far as like it looks great, but I don't know if we necessarily needed it per se.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So my next film, and I damn near blurted it out earlier, so I'm glad no one scooped it up, is of course Back to the Future 2. Incredible.
What?
What do you mean what? Let me guess. You have a problem with this entire franchise because you hate things that people love.
No, I was gonna say it.
Ah, playing the game, baby. Anyways, Back to the Future 2, the middle movie of a trilogy. I remember when it came out. Was it 1985? I guess I was like 9. Oh no, not 89.
89.
That's right, 89. That's
the
right.
First one may have come out in 85.
Yeah, first one came out in 85. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I remember seeing it in the theater. I was super excited and just seeing a vision of the future. I mean, like a fully fleshed out vision of the future with our technology back then in '89 was just, I was in love. I thought it was great. The self-lacing Nikes, and actually, fun fact, our boy Anton Alfness, aka Cinema Draft Advisor, he's working for a company which is actually working on self-lacing Nikes right now, which of course seems a bit superfluous in these times, but I'm glad my boy's got a job and is getting paid. Anyways, the self-lacing Nikes, the hoverboards. I mean, we're dealing with like the DeLorean, but the flying DeLorean now, pretty cool. And yeah, and then the whole thing with the year he went back, or the date he went back, I guess, was it 2020?
Yeah,
I think we passed that day, or are we going to pass that day soon?
I think we passed it because people
2015. It was 2015, right?
On Twitter, yeah, whenever that happened.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was a big event, like Back to the Future Day or whatever. I mean, it's a lot of fun as a movie itself, but as a vision of the future, it's excellent. I loved it. And the whole plot with the whole, trying to, taking the almanac back and making money off the future. I mean, I love it. It's incredible. For all we know, Jeff Bezos could be from the future and just, making money off us right now.
It might be.
Thoughts, G-Nice?
Well, I wouldn't say 2. I was going to say 1. It's just, here's the thing. Of all these movies that are like futuristic and like they're always dark, right? It's always like we fuck up the world, right? Which is probably accurate. This was so fun because it was still fun. It was still light. Like so many clever things, so many little jokes. So much. Like this is like pure creativity. You know what I mean?
Jaws 19. This time it's really, really personal. Directed by Max Spielberg. Wow, that's really cool. That's cool.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Michael J. Fox couldn't be like, he's not like, if you think he's not cool. Like I never thought of him as someone who's cool, right? But like, he was great in this, and he was like, you wanted to be like him, even though he's not cool. Like in retrospect, he's super dorky dude, but like even the music and like the hoverboard stuff, and when they doubled up the characters. It's just fucking so clever and smart.
And it was very much like trying to like, they had to thread a very tight needle or whatever the phrase is to like be able to like reference the first movie and have him interact with that in a way that he wouldn't have been seen and all that sort of stuff. And it's like the old version of himself trying to make sure that his parents didn't know. And then he's also there trying to make sure his past self didn't know and all that. So yeah.
His mom is hitting on him.
Yeah. and our vision of our current president right now, Biff Tannen, that looked in his big Biff hotel or whatever. Yeah, Biff's.
Wasn't there some sort of scandal with the third one? Right? Something like didn't they have to?
I don't remember.
Like not Biff, the dad. Didn't he not want to be in the third one or something? They had to write around him.
He had too much money at that point, or what?
Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting.
I didn't.
Some weird there was something about the third one because the third one was to me considerably not as good.
Yeah, they went to the Wild West or something.
Yeah, well, the third one I didn't like as much. I mean, like if you watch them like in a row, like it's fine. But I remember the time it came out, like it was such like Back to the Future 2 was such a high. Like the first one obviously was great, spawned a franchise, was classic, etc., etc. I mean, definitely replayable. But 2, I mean, I would say I don't know if 2 is a better movie, but I like 2 better because it had such a well thought out vision of the future and it dealt with these multiple timelines thing. I mean, the multiverse wasn't like a huge topic back in the 80s. I just wasn't. I mean, it was not my teenage years, right? So dealing with multiverse and stuff like that was pretty cool. And I thought the whole thing was really well done. And going back into the past, it was okay, but it just couldn't match the highs of 2. 2 was excellent. Yeah, there it was, October 21st, 2015. That's what it was. And that was the date that, and I remember on Twitter, everyone had like, it was trending like Back to the Future Day, October 21st. Where's my flying car? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they are out there, but not in mass production, sadly. So anyways. All right. So what's your second
Nice.
Nice.
Good to learn. Okay. So because you're forcing me to move away from what I would naturally do. So
it helps to read the rundown. Anyways, go ahead.
Whatever, dude. Me and Lada get caught up in these moments where like, I like this movie very much and I can watch it over and over again. Have you guys seen Oblivion?
Yes, you like that movie. Okay.
I thought it was like, huh?
Who's in that? That's the latest, not the
Tom
latest.
Cruise. It's like Tom Cruise, like after the world's been kind of blown up or something. And
yes, they're in space.
No, they're on Earth, but the Earth is like a wasteland.
And like he's got to like, it's him and Morgan Freeman, and they have to like, there's this whole conspiracy. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just sort of going through the motions. I don't know why, because the truth is, it's one of those things where you just have to like be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But visually, I thought it was such a cool, like, sort of this gray background.
It does look really pretty good, yeah.
What'd you say? Yeah, it's just like this weird, and she's like in on, and there's this weird element of like all of these movies where somebody is in on this secret where they always act like a robot, like, and she's wearing all this white clothes, but her hair is red, just like the visuals and the cool, like, and he's, yeah, her name.
Oh yeah, Andrea Riseborough. Yeah, so this is what tripped me out is that because I always remember Andrea Riseborough as being like extremely, feminine and really hot and whatever. And then she shows up in 000 on Amazon Prime, which I do recommend, and she looks nothing like this. Like it took me, I knew she was in that show, but like she looks nothing like that. And thin, gaunt, looking kind of crazy. She's anyways, it's a good show. It's about the international.
Wait, have you never seen this, Kevin?
I have not.
It's good. It's really good. It's like
it came out like August of 2013 or something like that. Like being like, it was supposed to be like a big summer cruise movie, but no one really showed up for it but me. So
yeah, I liked it. It's like smart and it's like thoughtful. It's like slow, and then there's like big moments. This also like Tom Cruise has a formula, right? But he's always good. I know he's probably crazy pants, and I know like there's tons of weird stuff he does, but he's pretty consistently good. And the stuff he does is pretty consistently good.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Like I can't like what's a bad movie he's done?
Oh.
I mean, there are some, but like he's pretty consistent.
No, he's consistent. And he's very conscious of his brand and stuff. So that's what I was gonna say.
And it's always the right pieces as far as like the property, the cast, the director.
Makes me want to watch it again.
It's always pretty tight with young.
Oh, looks good. All right, KG, what's your final film?
I'm definitely torn, but out of these ones that I'm thinking of, I'm gonna go with the most fun one, which is Running Man.
Huh, okay.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Interesting. All right.
This was
fun. Shooting humans for sport is fun. All right.
I mean, the way that they did it, you had Richard Dawson. This is like obviously when Arnold was on a tear. Other movies have sort of had this similar sort of idea of hunting people, but the way that they sort of did it, making this whole game show and, peak Arnie, fun, futuristic, dark, but dark but fun. I'll say that.
Fair enough. What do you remember about The Running Man? G Nice?
Not much, but I remember it being entertaining. I remember being like this was sort of aftermath of Total Recall, right? This is like he's still
Mhm.
sort of on that high.
Yeah, it's probably about the same time, late 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like a lot of this, like I remember this not really making sense,
Mhm.
but being really fun to watch. And
Mhm.
like he got a couple good lines in here, right?
I forget what his names were. He had Maria Conchita Alonso, I believe,
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
love
That's
interest.
it. I remember them having to like, wait, who's the bad guy in this?
Richard Dawson is kind of a bad guy. I can't remember if there's another.
They're like
sort
running
of the
through tunnels, right? There's like some point where there's like explosions in tunnels.
yes, I believe so. Was that Yaphet Kotto?
Yeah, Yaphet Kotto's in this piece. All right, well, so and you kind of stole my thunder because I was going to do Total Recall next, but I wanted to seem like
Oops.
yeah, no, I don't want to seem like I'm on the Arnie train. So I'll
Yeah,
switch it up.
both of those. I was juggling those two in my head as far as which one. This one I thought was sort of a little bit more obscure and.
It was. It's a smart pick because I barely remember Running Man, but yeah, that's a good pick. I'll do instead Time Cop. It's not a great film, but I like his vision of the future. It was the first time I personally was exposed to like the concept of self-driving cars, and I thought that was really cool. And how he was like sitting down, getting stuff done, like watching TV, whatever. His cars driving around. I thought that was pretty cool. The vision of the future felt like it could happen possibly. Of course, except for the whole time jumping copping thing, but it's an entertaining film. I mean, it's fun. Jean-Claude Van Damme doing Jean-Claude Van Damme things in the mid 90s. Ron Silver, such an asshole. He's great.
On brand.
Yeah, right? Mia Sarah, oh man, still looking good, girl. So yeah, Time Cop, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Time Cop.
Okay, Bueller. All right then.
Bueller,
Be nice. What's your final film?
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't have anything to say about Time Cop.
Well, Time Cop is. I don't know if I would say it's a good movie. It's one of those. It's
fun.
Like,
it's fun. We're all having fun here.
If you rewatch, when's the last time you watched this movie?
Actually, I used to own it, so but probably not since I sold all my my DVDs. So probably at least 10 years, maybe.
If you watched it now, you would not say that. What the fuck is this?
You might say the same thing about Running Man, though.
Yeah, for sure, without question.
For mid-90s technology, I thought the vision of the future was pretty good. I'm just saying.
You thought what?
For mid-90s technology, for film technology and special effects, I thought their vision of the future was pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. It seemed achievable.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, so I feel like
you're the first.
Whoa. I'm gonna go with. I feel like this is not gonna count. Whatever. I'm gonna go with Inception.
That works. It totally works. What are you talking about?
Thank you. Okay, click. It's funny because Nolan to me is always good, right? Like he's consistently good. Everything's thoughtful. I just
wait for Tenure. John David Washington. Morehouse. Can't wait for it. Go ahead.
I watched this recently, and it's really, 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 really clever.
Yes.
But it's also super fucking obnoxious. Right? Like,
all right, explain how it's obnoxious because in the forums I traffic online when it comes to like movies and stuff, there's like a whole millennial Gen Z contingent that thinks that Nolan is overrated. So please.
I mean, he's good. He's good. There's a line in here. So I don't know if you guys remember this. I can't remember what the exact line is. He's interviewing Ellen Page to be the new construct person, to be the new architect. Yeah. And he gives her a piece of paper. He says, like, draw 4 lines that you can only do in 2. Something just obnoxious. Some line that's like, but it's like, clearly, you'd be smart like me. And then
Is your intelligence threatened, G-Nice? Is that what it is? Is Nolan too smart for you?
No, I think he's very good. I think Memento is fucking awesome. But I think it's so clever. You go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, like, I remember watching it the first time and sort of being confused. And then I remember watching the second time and sort of like, all right. And now like, the more you watch it, the more like intricacies you see.
Absolutely.
And there's so many cool visuals. This whole section when they go into like the snow, like there's zero reason for them to be on snow skis. They look fucking cool, you know. And Tom Hardy's pretty badass in this. She like her whole storyline and the spinning of the. Do you guys remember the spinning of the?
Yeah, the totem. Yeah, Marion
There was,
Cotillard.
and there was a whole thing recently online about people arguing whether or not it wobbled at the end or whatever.
Right.
Right.
It's good. It's really fucking smart. It's really clever. I watch these movies. I watched this and I watched something else recently. Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. Quick cultural cul-de-sac. What do you think of that?
Well, I thought that was this fucked up movie that I was like, why am I watching this? And then the last 10 minutes, I was like, this is great.
Whoa. And the funny thing is, when I saw it in the theater, I was figuring at first, like, I thought it was well made, but I didn't see the point of it. And then in the last 10 minutes, like, here goes Tarantino again. Just, endless. I mean, it kind of broke the kind of hangout vibe of the movie. But then when you watch it again, especially if you watch it with someone who hadn't seen it before, because I made my mom watch it, and it's really funny. Like when you go into it with different expectations, it really holds up well. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out with these guys for a couple hours. It's funny. And yeah, there's the whole flamethrower, Manson murder thing at the end. But up until then, like, you're having a pretty good time. Like, it's a fun ride through 1969 or whatever.
Yeah, I tried to watch this on the plane back from Vietnam, and I kept falling asleep. It may have
Hold on a
been,
second. Hold on. You're in Vietnam?
that was over like before the holidays.
For work or for fun?
Stopped through for fun. A little bit of work for my wife, but fun for me, except when I kept going to the bathroom. But regardless, we were on the way back, and I tried to watch it, and I think I was just sort of fatigued from the whole trip, but I couldn't get through it. I may give it a shot again at some point, but what you're saying is not convincing me. Like,
no, listen, see, like, that's the thing, is the first hour and 55 minutes are not fun.
I don't have that much time.
Right, but it is
Oh, man.
it's clever enough. Like, this reminds me, I can't remember the title. This reminds me of like an old Vonnegut story where it's like, you spend all this time getting all these details and you're like, what the fuck? And then the last 3 pages, you're like, oh shit, that's awesome. And it was kind of that moment. Like, the climax is pretty great to justify all this bullshit you had to sit through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to ever watch it again, but I was like, all right, I see it. It's
No, KG, don't let that dissuade you. Look, all right, I'll play.
I didn't watch the Hateful Eight or whatever it was either.
Look, it took me until it came to Netflix to it, because I think I paid money to see it in the theater, and I fell asleep and then never went back to it, and then I end up rewatching it. It's fine. It's good. This is, you know what? I really enjoyed it upon the second viewing, because, like I said, if you manage your expectations, as in, this is going to be a hangout movie. This is going to be, I like.
not what this movie is.
No, just it kind of is, though. It's an aging star. It feels like he's losing it. He's washed up, whatever. And then this guy and his dog. It's a fun hang if you go in expecting, okay, we're just going to spend like a day in 1969, and see how everything shakes out. That's fine. If you go in there thinking, okay, Tarantino, it's going to be excellent, it's going to be great, you might be disappointed, because I was slightly disappointed when I left the theater when I saw it. But it's one that definitely, upon more viewings, gets better once you manage your expectations, in my estimation. I don't know. And it's funny. It's really funny.
I was going to say, the reason I brought that up is because I was going to say that, like, I like Leo DiCaprio. I think like, if he's in a movie, it typically is a good movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I ever look at him and I'm like, you made that movie awesome.
Well, this one, I think,
not that movie, but in general, like, part of me wonders what would Inception be if it was, I don't know. If
I thought he was pretty good in Leo. I mean, in a movie like Inception, it's more about the idea than the star, right?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of his movies, I always wonder, like, what's a movie that, like, he made that movie?
Titanic.
Really?
Seriously? What do you think, KG? Did he not make Titanic?
Didn't see it.
Wow. I didn't breaking news here on the Cinema Draft podcast. Working black writers not seen Titanic. What were you doing in 1997?
I was being a PA, working 16 hours a day, and didn't have time to go to a movie, but I already knew the ending.
All right, that's well played. You know what? You get a pass. I'll allow it.
And I had no girlfriend either, so it was like.
Yeah, I didn't see it till like maybe 5 years ago.
That's because you hate fun. Anyways, all right. So you thought anyone could have played?
It's not anyone. I'm just trying to think of like look, in a Denzel movie, when Denzel's the star, you can't just switch him out, right?
Right. No, but your point is that there's never a movie that Leo doesn't really make.
I didn't say
and
there's.
I offered you the prime example of him making that movie.
I didn't say never. I'm saying I'm questioning. I'm wondering out loud. Like, what's another big movie he did? Like The Departed. He was really good. What was it? Good because he killed it in that movie, or was it good?
That's a two-hander though, because Damon's just as good in that as he is, I think. And I've rewatched it recently. Like they're both like really good. If anything, it might be more Damon's movie than Leo's. So that's fine. It's a two-hander.
All right. Can you name a movie? Okay, you said Titanic. So Kevin, can you name a movie that you feel like he just owned that movie, and that movie would not be nearly as good without him?
That's a very good question. I was trying to think if Gangs of New York is that, but it's not.
No, it's more Daniel.
Right, the co-star in a lot of his movies destroy. And he's the lead, right? So that's part of it. But
yeah.
So
I'd have to look at a list.
Not Kobe. He's a team player. He's LeBron, not Kobe. I don't know. What do you want?
Okay. That's pretty bold. Like he's good. He's like, if he's in a movie, there's time and money and thought, and it's going to be a solid movie.
All right, so back to Inception, because we might have called.
All right, so back to Inception. So Inception's really good. It's good. It's not easy to watch because it's like your brain is thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's consistently really good.
Yeah. And it is such an interesting new idea that I think on second and third viewings, like since you already sort of know the trick of it, like it's a more fun ride as you go along.
Yeah, seeing all the layers.
Like Gilbert Grape. He was really good in Gilbert Grape.
Okay.
And then, like, he was good in Romeo and Juliet. I'll give him that. He was really good in Romeo and Juliet.
All right, so apparently we're doing this. Okay, we're doing this. All right, so let's take a look at Leo's IMDb real quick to see, because I get the point you're trying to make. I might even get Wolf of Wall Street. Why didn't I think of that? He fucking made that movie.
Do you think he made that movie, or was that movie just a shit ton of other things going on and it was him? Like, can you name a scene? Like, think of a scene. You think of the scenes. I can think of the Marvel.
I'm not fucking going. I'm not going anywhere. Come on.
Like, I think of McConaughey's scene before that. I think of her scene where she's sitting on the floor before that. Like,
I just gave you the scene, the one where he's about to plead guilty, decides no, I'm not going to do it, and that whole speech that's been memed to death. Well, you wouldn't know, you're not on social media. But that's totally meme. That the one when he's dancing at the wedding. Well, that's all. I mean, it's he.
Yeah, I guess. Look, he's good. He's really good. I'm just trying to think, like, what's his trait? Like, what is? Yeah.
Way in your KG. Help
maybe
me out.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't have that one trick that he goes back to that you can sort of hang your hat on.
He was really good in the one where he wrestles the bear. He was
The Revenant.
The Revenant. Yeah, I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well made.
You know what?
He was great as Calvin Candy. I mean, he didn't make that movie.
In Django, he didn't make that movie, but like,
how do you not?
I don't know.
How do you not win an Oscar for that?
I don't know.
It was incredible. What makes you such a Mandingo expert? Get that.
He's got a lot of great movies.
He
may have a point.
Really good in Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah, he was great in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
I rest my breast with Titanic. Damn it, he made that movie. I don't care what you say. I mean, and I love it for giving us Kate Winslet. I mean, she's awesome in that movie, and maybe people remember her a little bit more than him, but he makes that movie. He really does. Anyways, we're gonna end this segment. Damn it, this thing's gonna be 3 hours long.
Let me just also say, Planet of the Apes. As far as like future
movies. Always have honorable mentions. Damn it. Yes, Planet of the Apes. Yes. What else?
And
the new Mad Max. That's really good.
Yeah, I loved. It doesn't qualify, but Time Bandits is a great movie. I'll just say that. It was very fun.
WALL-E is really good future movie.
I'm surprised one of you did not say that.
Yeah, WALL-E is great. I stand for WALL-E. I love WALL-E. All right.
Time Bandits.
All right, so we're going to take a break. You guys know how it goes by this point. To tell you all about the Cinema Draft game, bring those who are new to the game or the podcast about how the Cinema Draft game works and how it's played. We will be pausing the video so we can share this message with you, and we will be right back after this. And we're back. Yes, clap it up, give it up for ourselves. So since our over-under is mothballed, as are the theaters, we are continuing our weekly tradition now with the quarantine movie of the week. Last week's quarantine movie of the week was Snatch. As you see today on the Cinema Draft Twitter account, we are currently promoting, oh, we should pin this to post, there we go. We are currently promoting Inception. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But tomorrow, or actually by the time you guys watch this and are able to check the Cinema Draft account, we will be sponsoring Good Time. Why are we sponsoring? We're not paying them any money. Anyways, we're recommending Good Time, damn it. That's the 2017 Safdie brothers movie with Robert Pattinson, basically a tense, propulsive night out, well, not so much night out in the town of New York City, but he's going through New York City's underworld on the run for most of the night. It's a bit of a, I'm not sure if a vibe is the right word, but it's a bit of a mood. I mean, it's dark, it's tense. It definitely kind of keeps your adrenaline going, which totally sets up their follow-up of Uncut Gems. Have you guys seen Uncut Gems?
Saw Uncut Gems. I from what I've heard of this, their first movie was better. To me, it was a little bit forced. Like the tension was a bit forced to me. Like some of the situations weren't organically tense and they made it tense. Maybe the problem was it was uncomfortable. Like they made every situation so uncomfortable that it was an uncomfortable viewing experience, which made it less pleasant for me. But they obviously have a thing that they do.
Yeah, and that's wild because I actually liked the fact that it's so uncomfortable. I mean, I saw it in the theater. I remember actually I took my mom to go see it, and came back like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and I did not go to sleep till 7 in the morning. I was so jacked. It's just so much adrenaline. It's nuts. Have you seen it, G Nice?
No, I want to see it because I hear Kevin's kind of good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, for a non-actor, he's pretty good.
What am I supposed to look at in this picture?
Julia Fox, yeah. I mean, not to be creepy old man about it, but man, she's incredibly good looking. This is like her first, I think, real screen role. They did a profile on her, I think, in the New Yorker or something, where she's had an interesting life. Like she was in high school, like her senior year, she's some sort of dominatrix, like a sex dominatrix. She's done artwork. She's a bit of a New York socialite, and now she's an actress. So.
She kind of looks like Anne Hathaway.
Wow. You know what? Great callback. I love a good callback in the episode.
You're welcome. I'm bowing. You can't see it.
As haterish as it is, damn it. But no, Adam Sandler's incredible in this, I thought. I mean, he's
great performance.
As far as getting the energy of a degenerate gambler and being a professional poker player, or at least one-time professional poker player, I have definitely been in and among degenerate gamblers. He definitely gets that energy, the chasing of highs and stuff. I mean,
yeah, he definitely did. I mean, the climax of the movie, he is in full degenerate mode, and that's all I'll say. And it is a great performance, and those moments are pretty great.
Are you having fun? Yes.
Lakeith Stansfield is great as always.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, I actually like him a lot when he's not doing comedy. Like Punch Drunk Love is one of my favorite things he's done, and I think.
Amen. Yes, and also the other one with.
Why you make that face? Why you make that face? What's wrong with your head? You smell?
No. No Punch Drunk for me.
Really?
Well, what about Funny People? Was that the name? Funny People.
I like that less.
I liked it more.
I like that one more. Yeah. Yeah, Julia. Yeah. So anyways, Uncut Gems is not actually. We already put up Uncut Gems as a quarantine movie today, but. Bring it back full circle. The Safdie brothers, Good Time. They directed Uncut Gems. They directed Good Time. If you liked Uncut Gems, you will definitely love Good Time. If you just liked Uncut Gems or just thought it was okay, you will definitely enjoy Good Time because Good Time probably is maybe the more artistic movie, but Uncut Gems is definitely more unnerving, propulsive movie. And send us your tweet-length review. We'll have it up here. We're at Play Cinema Draft. Check it out.
Do you know where that movie Good Time is playing? Is it streaming somewhere specifically?
Oh, good question. I do believe it's streaming on Prime. It was on Netflix for a while, but it's definitely on Prime. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, good time. Yeah, movie. Usually tells you where. Looks like it's streaming. Oh, it's still on Netflix. Okay, cool.
It's so weird. Like now, whenever you're looking for something, it's like you got to sort of shuffle through 5 different apps or whatever to figure out if is it Netflix, is it Prime, is it Amazon, is it Hulu, is it Plus, is it Disney?
Yeah, someone should make an app for that.
There is an app for that. It's called Just Watch.
Oh yeah, you're right. I used to mess with Just Watch for a while, and actually, and also here's another.
I know things.
We're also since we're naming that stuff, we're also on Letterboxd for those of you who keep up with streaming habits. I actually tend to. I think I've missed a movie, but basically everything I'm watching on, at least movie wise, I am streaming. I'm putting up on Letterboxd where people can interact and see what other people are watching. You can follow some interesting people and see the reviews. And
Bloodshot?
I did see. Actually, that was the last movie I saw in theater, to be honest with you. And I remember going. I'm like, should I be risking this? Should I? I don't know.
No.
It was. I mean, it was an IMAX. You know, they just. It's so sad too because the AMC where I went, it just reopened they just reopened their IMAX screen, you know, after it had been down for so long. And then that was like the last weekend they showed live movies. So it was okay. It was fine.
I got a Boomerang. So last time we did this, we talked about Boomerang. And like that inspired me so that I randomly saw that it was on Amazon. So I watched it.
Amen.
But like I keep falling asleep and I got kids. So I watched it like 15 minutes at a time. And then I got to 3/4. He's with Halle Berry now. Everything's going good. It's that scene where she's made the blue people and he comes out running out of the shower.
Yeah.
And then fucking Amazon got rid of it. so even though I know it is, I that's as far as I got. So.
Oh no.
Tragic.
They all died at the end. Okay, and also I give a while we're on social media, I'd like to give a thank you to all the people who participated in our social media game, Social CD. We have now concluded our test. We've gathered enough data and have ended the game. We hope that those who did play were able to enjoy it some during their quarantine. I think this is our last one. This is the over 50 crowd. Building your own cast. You had $100. Let's choose 5. I think the lineup I went with, which was, I think it was Craig and Lopez and Baranski and then like Leota and Rashad, I think. It was one of the lower scoring performing lineups out there. But I like my idea. I think it was like 2 retiring spies. Yeah, the 19th hole. 2 retiring spies were forced to do one last thing, even though they're competing against each other. And then I think I had Leota as the bad guy or something. It was pretty cool. Anyways, that social CD is done, but we are turning more of our energies onto our DraftStream game. Now, we know Greg will never play this game. It's fine. We hold out hope for you, KG, even though it is spreadsheet based and it can get kind of annoying. We do have a 4-minute tutorial on how to do a call sheet. Basically, the DraftStream game has been great. It's been amazing. The competition's been outstanding. Last week, we even had an additional $50 bounty put up by our boy Ring Balls, who actually came in 3rd and 2nd place among non-Cinema Draft employees. So he actually did get $15 in cold, hard PayPal cash. I was really making a play to get that extra $50 bonus because I wanted to roll it into this week's prize pool, but sadly did not get there. Jaybird in the 2nd week back. Damn you, Jaybird. Also another one-time professional poker player, with the best players in my training class, came back in only 2nd week, took the top spot. Outstanding call sheet. I won't go too much into it, but he definitely pegged it by doing a 4-pack of Betty and then having headliner stacks of The Wretched, Trying, and Upload. And Upload, I don't know why we didn't account for it better. My own call sheet did not have enough Upload. I think I only had 1 Upload on there. Yeah, only 1 headliner Upload. I flamed out with The Reckoning or Reckoning or whatever. It just got default scores. What happens in this game, it's based off of aggregate scores of both Rotten Tomatoes critic scores, Rotten Tomato audience scores, Metacritic critic scores, and IMDb user scores. And basically 60% bonus goes to the user scores. So you really have to try to figure out what the audience wants. And the problem with The Reckoning is that it just did not show up. Like no one saw this thing or rated it. Yeah, no critics rated it, and then the people who did see it, yeah, they liked it just okay. So, anyways, I'll quit bitching and moaning. Congratulations, Jay Bird, for last week. This week we've got 15. We've expanded the talent pool by 5 programs. Everything from Damien Chazelle's The Eddie to How to Build a Girl, which seems interesting. That looks like an indie starring Beanie Feldstein, and actually a pretty decent cast. David Strathairn. Actually, no, it's a different one. Emma Thompson, Michael Sheen, Lucy Punch, Jamila Jamil. The game theory is still kind of being worked on. Documentaries tend to do pretty well on this, so I might go documentary heavy this week. Call Your Mother seems like it might be a hit. Once again, we are trying to over-index with audiences. Call Your Mother has just like a pretty good lineup of comedians and comic actors in it. Awkwafina, Louis Anderson, who's that? Yvonne Orji, interesting. Roy Wood Jr., he's got one of those faces you see everywhere. He was in the last episode of Better Call Saul this season. So definitely check it out. It's in beta or alpha test or whatever. We're trying to see if it works, but I do have a feeling that we will pivot more towards the DraftStream game upon relaunch. We're probably about a couple months away, so check it out. The rules here are all explained. Free to play, $50 prize pool, $35 to first, $15 to second for the top 2 non-Cinema Draft employees. And there will be a link in the description of this podcast to this week's game.
I will say this about this week's competition.
Yeah.
Adventures in Psychedelics, Have a Good Trip is going to have great Rotten Tomatoes. Critics are gonna love this thing.
Really? Inside scoop. Okay.
I think so.
What do you know?
I haven't seen a cut. Greg has as well. G Nice has as well. I used to play basketball at Donna Carey's house.
That's right.
In the backyard. G Nice encouraged me to shoot.
Wait, hold on a second. How is this a run I wasn't invited to? What's up? You holding out on runs in LA, G Nice?
This is like, I think I did this once with Kevin. It was like this weird random moment.
Okay.
It was one time he came through. But I think there's like a lot of I just know it's about sort of like people's experiences with drugs, and he's got like a ton of
Rosie Perez, Sarah Silverman, Ben Stiller. Actually, wow. Inside dope, yo. Are you gonna play this week, KG?
I don't know. I don't know. I gotta sort of take the tutorial, but I think critics will like this. Having not seen it, just the fact that you got Anthony Bourdain, like I think it's gonna be something that will be like critically liked. But I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't even looked at the trailer.
All right. Well, check it out. I mean, look, we're even putting up our first Tyler Perry title in this game. Tyler Perry's Bruh. Lord help us.
Yes, Lord help us all.
But like I said, it's all about the audiences. We've seen some like Lifetime movies do pretty well here. The Clark sisters in our inaugural week 5 weeks ago did surprisingly well. Actually ended up dominating Saturday night on Twitter, which is
it did. And Tyler Perry, Mr. Perry, for all that people criticize him on the critic side, his audience usually loves his stuff. So
true.
The people that see that are going to like it for the most part.
Look at that, 6.7 rating already. Hasn't even aired. So whoever early people got screeners or whatever who already launched it, or just people blindly see something Tyler Perry and give it a star. You're already out in force. So this is a numbers audience game. So take all that into account. So yes, it's a great game. It's been fun to play. I'm looking forward to eventually coding it up and having it be our relaunch variant. And when movies do return, we'll have 2 great games to play. How about that? Major key. All right, so let's bring this in for a landing, damn it. It's been a long podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed it. It's always a great time when the tripod comes out. Thanks for coming on and elevating the Cinema Draft podcast. This is a time to plug your ish. So we'll start with you, KG. Anything you'd like to plug?
I have nothing to plug. I think season
finale. A couple episodes of Dynasty left, right?
Season finale of Dynasty, because we only did 20 because of the COVID.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if the finale aired. I think the finale may have aired. It's either airing this week or it aired last week. I don't know. I'm not keeping track. Sorry.
Oh, actually, yeah. So it actually looks like it's going to air on Friday, and I'm behind. I'm about 5 behind. So.
Yes, I'm right on time.
There you go.
We just had Dan Danny Trejo on last week.
What?
And now this week we have the big finale that wasn't meant to be the finale, but it'll feel like a finale.
Okay.
Very fun.
I'm with it. I enjoyed the show. I mean, I tend to binge it usually when I'm like, working on stuff, but it's a fun show to have on that's kind of like diverting and, like, and listen to the crazy things Fallon says. Elizabeth Gillies, man. I mean, yeah, she's incredibly hot, but she's talented. Like she's funny. I hope that's not her actual like character in real life.
Yeah, she's more of a real human than
Fallon
character. Yeah. But very funny in real life.
Yeah, so I enjoy the show. Everyone watch Dynasty season finale Friday, May 8th, 9:00 p.m. Anything you want to promote, G Nice, besides the underground, hip hop you found out there in the tri-state area?
I got two things to say. One, wash your hands and stay inside, bulls.
Please.
And two, music that I'm listening to? No, not really. I'm listening to the same stuff. Well, I can tell you about my record collection. I recently got Souls of Mischief. I recently got all the new edition albums. I only need one more. And then I recently, my mother sent me some old school Marvin Gaye. It crackles. It's really, really cool. Like the old school thing. The new stuff, you get 3 songs and they make you flip it. It's annoying. But the old albums, there'll be like 6 on each side. And it comes with a bunch of photos. It's really fun. I sound like an old man.
All right, so G Nice's vinyl collection is one thing to plug that we will never see or hear. Excellent. Well, as you
want to ask me that again? There's more coming.
Well, thanks everyone for showing up, for participating, for watching, for playing the great Cinema Draft game and the DraftStream Alpha Test. We'll be back next week with another great episode, another great guest. We usually say go see a movie or something, but that's not wise. Even if it is in a reopened part of the country. Like G Nice said, stay ass at home, wash your hands, and why don't you quarantine with a movie or something?
Anyway.
And why don't you quarantine with a movie or something? Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good
See you
night
later.
now.